And just like that, Tesla stock, Tesla the company, now talk of the town in the finance media once again. It's almost like there's a correlation between Tesla's stock price being up and more conversation and the stock price being down and no one cares. By the way, congratulations to all of the genius stock traders who sold near $140 or $240 a share, who are now buying around $340 a share. Please let me know where I can subscribe to your newsletter and possibly also buy your How to Lose Money Trading Stocks course.
Tesla shares, though, popping today on a report that said that the Trump administration is planning to ease federal rules on self-driving vehicles. Now, this follows news on Friday that Trump's team is also reportedly planning to kill the $7,500 tax credit for EV purchases. So joining us now is Tom Narayan of RBC Capital Markets. Tom, it's great to have you on. Let's start right there. What's going to matter more for Tesla and for the vehicle market and any of these AI plays that might be attached to autonomous driving? Is it going to be a different regulatory landscape for autonomous vehicles, or is it going to be taking away that tax credit? What's going to matter more?
Yeah, it's going to be giving less regulatory restrictions on robotaxis, definitely.
Amazingly, I agree with Tom. By the way, I'm trolling. Tom is the first analyst that I recall, maybe a year or so ago, who began modelling Tesla licensing FSD in his Tesla valuation model. I mean, he was a few years late to the party relative to me. Shout out to my valuation model. Had licensing in it from day one when I first published it back in 2021. However, it took both balls and a brain for Tom to start modelling something out that not yet exists. That's the whole point. So this was a bit of a hint that maybe Tom has a brain, some balls, and knows how to use them in conjunction with one another, making him pretty rare among his colleagues on Wall Street. Obviously, the autonomous opportunity dwarfs anything a company could hope or wish to make selling vehicles to consumers, probably by 2 orders of magnitude. So anything that can assist autonomy rolling out a little bit quicker is going to have an outsized impact relative to an EV tax credit that Tesla doesn't need going away.
Federal restrictions was one of the big reasons why GM stopped making its origin purpose-built vehicle, right? That allows you to make a vehicle without pedals and steering wheels. So you need that federal deregulation, if you were to call it, a policy framework in order to allow for that. That's what the Tesla Cybercab is. Why is that important? It cuts down a lot of costs, right? Currently the competition is, Waymo. You guys talked about that. It has pedals, steering wheels. It's another car company making the vehicle. Right? So if you can make your own vehicle at lower cost, doesn't have steering wheels or pedals, you can bring down the cost. And Tesla's argument is they can actually gobble up market share. And if you look at autonomy and AI, et cetera, that comes at a much higher multiple. You have $1 trillion+ market cap for Tesla. Are you going to get there with an auto business for selling more cars or through AI autonomy? Right? So autonomy is the way they can justify that market cap more they can from selling cars.
Tom raises an important point with the difference between Tesla and Waymo just from a cost structure point of view. Forget the fact that Waymo has an extremely burdensome process of pre-mapping in HD. They don't have a solution that will widely scale and they're fucked anyway. Forget that. Let's just talk about costs. Waymo pays another company to make a vehicle. Waymo then has to spend fuck tons on extremely expensive and longer term, totally unnecessary sensors. Cluster of optical cameras, LiDAR, bunch of dumb bullshit. They still haven't figured out this is a mistake. And last we heard, it cost Waymo over $100,000, all things considered, just for the vehicle, to put the vehicle on roads, just for the hardware. Tesla Cybercab, which they're producing themselves and they're experts at manufacturing vehicles at high volume and low costs, it's probably going to cost them sub $20,000 to make. The math's pretty simple here. This means that Waymo, just to get the vehicle on roads, it's easily 5, maybe 6, 7 times as much. But let's just be conservative. Let's say 5 times the cost just to put a vehicle on roads. And that's not including the fact that they've got to go pre-map in HD and all that other bullshit as well. It's important to understand the payback period. You guys have any idea how many more rides, how many more miles a Waymo vehicle will need to do just to cover its own costs relative to a Tesla Cybercab? They're fucked completely and utterly from both ends at the same time with somebody filming. Let's do some math. Real simple numbers. Let's just say hypothetically, a Waymo is charging $2 per mile. Of that, there's a 25% profit. The rest is cost, okay? So 50 cents profit per mile. If it costs $100,000 to put that vehicle on roads, it has to drive 200,000 miles just to break even, and that's not including any of the other costs, okay? This really matters. Now, let's just say it costs Tesla $20,000 to put a Cybercab on roads. Same profit margin, 50 cents per mile profit, only needs to do 40,000 miles. A typical taxi does around 70,000 miles a year. So a Tesla Cybercab could pay for its costs in well under a year of operation. Meanwhile, a Waymo, I mean, they're going to go bankrupt before any of them start making profits. But anyway, let's just pretend they're not going bankrupt. Would need to operate for years, plural, years, just to break even. If you didn't know anything else, it's pretty obvious which of these business models is more likely to succeed. And here's the crazy thing. Guess what? These two businesses are going to be competing for the same customers on the same planet, making it even worse. See, if Waymo had a terrible business and Tesla wasn't sneaking up, about to deploy autonomy widely and absolutely crush them, whatever. They can keep bleeding money, raising capital, whatever. But they're going to be out-competed by Tesla. What is the point of continuing to operate? This is going to be brutal. Waymo has a terrible business model. And independent of that, their terrible business model, they're now in the crosshairs of Tesla. Rest in fucking peace, Waymo.
So it raises the question. Tesla bounced again today, up more than 5%. It was one of the best performers in the market. It's up more than 50% in a month. We have seen shares also today, to your point about Waymo, of Uber under pressure. It doesn't seem like this is a zero-sum game. Anybody who's tied to these regulations or exposed to these regulations, I would imagine, is going to benefit. But looking at Tesla specifically, are you surprised to see how much the stock has run in just a short period of time?
Yes and no. I think post-election, I was somewhat surprised, especially with the move on the $7,500 credit being cut. I actually think that's a negative for Tesla. I know there's a narrative that eliminating that credit is good for Tesla because it can compete better against other EVs. But the reality is in the U.S., penetration for EVs is only 8%. Tesla's real competition is Toyota Camry, right? Not the Chevy Equinox. So I actually think that credit going away is actually a negative for Tesla. But the reality is getting federal deregulation on AI, or specifically on self-driving vehicles, is a huge positive, assuming it all happens, right? Remember, this is all like in the, we don't know the details here, devil's in the details. But just because, my Robotaxi valuation is 44% of my whole price target. FSD is 33%, right? So like the sky, not the sky's the limit, but you get the idea, right? Like we're talking about huge multiples. And so that deregulation, I'm not surprised.
So Tom, the stock has moved about $90 a share, I think, since the election. How much is Tesla now a Musk and Trump stock? It was a Musk stock before, and that had its benefits.
Bro, what the fuck? What is this question? Like I've said, what's good for the US is good for Tesla. And Trump is very good for US prosperity, opportunity, growth. But that's as far as it goes with Trump's impact on Tesla and Tesla stock. If the US is thriving, if the cost of living is coming down, if manufacturing is booming, if tax rates come down, if inflation slows, this is all good for the US and US consumers, meaning it's good for companies that produce products and sell them to consumers in the United States.
And right now, Elon Musk and the president-elect seem very much aligned, and it's moving on some of this policy stuff. But how much risk is there for investors? How much should investors keep in mind the possibility that at some point these two guys, who have been known to be a little erratic, disagree on something? And what kind of an impact could that have on the stock?
Yeah, and I've written that I thought that the move after the election, a lot of that move wasn't really based on fundamentals, right? It was based on a maybe this could happen type ideology. But I do have to say, though, that something like deregulating, robotaxis, autonomy on a federal basis, it does matter. And that's also something that once a genie's out of the bottle, it's hard to kind of put that back, right? So it's a mixed answer to your question. I do think certainly it's not completely tied to a president-elect, but certainly having policy that's a tailwind for you most definitely helps, right? So it's kind of a mixed answer. But I do think, if you believe in robotaxis, you do believe in autonomy, FSD, if you believe in it, having deregulation kind of sets everything in motion to achieve what this company wants to achieve.
The next 4 and a bit years were always going to be phenomenal for Tesla, the company, as they scaled up their fleet of robotaxis, massively disrupted transportation and transformed the company, printing crazy profits along the way. But we've hit the jackpot. Everything that could have gone right has. First of all, Donald J. Trump being elected as the 47th president is going to be huge. The guy understands what drives economic growth. He's obsessed with US manufacturing jobs. And as I said, what's good for the US is good for companies that produce products in the US. But it's a double whammy. Musk recognized the asteroid known as Kamala Harris potentially obliterating the United States and probably the world, and said something about it, did something about it. And as a result, he's earned Trump's respect for having the courage to stand up and point at the asteroid and go, no, bro, if that shit collides, we're fucked. Not happening. I'm endorsing Trump. Trump greatly respects Elon's intellect and his accomplishments. The two have been nearly inseparable the last week or so, sharing ideas. Trump was at the recent Starship test flight. They attended the UFC, and Elon's basically been living at Mar-a-Lago for the prior week. This matters. Trump wants a thriving economy. He wants manufacturing jobs. He wants safe, secure cities. And you know what's safe? Autonomous vehicles that crash less than humans. Everything that could go right is going right for Tesla. It's just incredible, and it's during the most incredible 4 to 5-ish window in the company's history. I still feel like I'm going to wake up. I feel like I'm dreaming. It's just too good to be true. But here we are. Buckle up, folks. 2025, 6, 7, and 8 are going to be outrageously good for Tesla. Want more content? Early access? Bunch of perks? Click the links in the pinned comment. AG1 is awesome. I've been taking it daily now for more than 3 years. It's a great way to fill in nutritional gaps. It's packed full of vitamins, minerals, and whole food source nutrients, plus has prebiotics, probiotics, and adaptogens to improve gut health, regularity, and help your body handle stress. I'm always looking for an edge to help me feel and perform my best, which is why I haven't missed a day of AG1 for more than 3 years. Just try it and see how you feel. Click the link in the pinned comment or head to drinkag1.com/SMR and get yourself a free 1-year supply of vitamin D3 plus K2 and 5 travel packs. This is what viewers of the channel had to say after trying AG1. I feel like I have a lot more energy since I started on AG1. Just got my AG1 in the mail, legit feeling the effects after day 3. 3 months ago, I started AG1 and have been enjoying the evenness of alertness and energy that lasts the day. I just started the wife on it too. Are you convinced yet? I mean, hey, it's worth trying, right? Click the link in the pinned comment or head to drinkag1.com/SMR, or I can keep going. This viewer, after about a month on AG1, definitely a lack of fatigue in the afternoon. Pleasant side effect is that my coffee intake has imploded and is almost down to 0. One more? Yeah, why not? I honestly feel younger and will be continuing to use AG1. This stuff really is crazy good. I didn't think it would be, but this stuff is awesome. It really is what everyone is saying. One more? Don't mind if I do. I've just received my 3rd month supply. I've drank it every day. I have so much energy throughout most of the day. I'm productive, started a new business, started socializing, refurbished a boat. It's no coincidence. Thank you for your persistence, your integrity, and your insights. Now look, these are not my words. These are not my testimonials. This is what you guys and girls are saying. Maybe it's 100% placebo effect. But even if that's the case, I think it's money well spent. Click the link in the pinned comment or head to drinkag1.com/SMR and get yourself a free 1-year supply of vitamin D3 plus K2 and 5 travel packs.